Welcome back to BaldHeaded Metal, guys, and welcome back my older brother Benjamin from Star Wars Timeline. Back to reactions. I know you guys have been asking for that, and I think he's here to serve.
Definitely. I told him, don't tell me too much about the video that we're going to look forward to. I want a big surprise. Let's go. He said something about this band being Japanese.
Japanese bands.
I love Japanese culture, movies, anime, all that good stuff.
And it'll be interesting to see the way he reacts to this, because you already guys know how I went through my own evolution. That being said, let's jump right into the reaction, see what we got.
Okay.
I'm a real lady. Spending him with the attitude, taking a good dream with a dream of true. Change them equally with treasure. Life it is high with a dream of true. So searching deep side, keep watching what's behind. No need to hide, cry. Decided it is time. It's quite easy, simple. Think you have true as a symbol. Taking the actions not too hard. Try to fight, no need to guard. It's time to stop, pretend again.
Okay, this is weird because I've been following all these other songs. Yeah. Some of them are thrash oriented, some of them are more Japanese style, some which it's the first time I've heard rap style, kind of introduce some rap stuff in there. Well, first of all, I'm going to ask you, how do you feel about it?
Well, so far, I'm trying to get into the groove. It has that very distinct early 90s kind of, what are some of the bands that come to mind?
Like Limp Bizkit?
No. Before that, early 90s.
Yeah,
like Pantera.
I think it's something like Mordred.
Yeah, Mordred. That's a very
when
good
they started
example.
Implementing jazz and kind of hip hop elements into heavy metal.
That's interesting. Definitely interesting. Definitely unusual combination, but it seems to have some synergy. It works.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. For me, so far, it's just kind of a weird mix. What the fuck?
What the hell?
I have a question for you. This is just, I have a burning question watching this. I've noticed in the recent years of bands, they release now one song at a time. They don't release albums, a lot of newer bands.
Yeah.
Because they want to keep feeding content.
Mm-hmm.
And also, a lot of bands, not just Japanese bands, fall into this idea of like, they don't want to stick within one genre of what they're supposed to play.
Right.
And they change up songs almost literally every song.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I'm okay with it. I think if you want to not to stick to one familiar sound, like for example, like Iron Maiden or Judas Priest are known for, that's what fans come into. If you want to keep it experimental and keep changing it, I mean, maybe it doesn't adhere much to your branding it as a band, that's the sound we stand for. But if it always constantly invites old audience and new audience, that's good. I don't mind it.
I honestly struggle with it a little bit more than you. You're a little bit more open-minded than I am.
Yeah.
And coming back to this music, I find personally, this is my personal opinion, somehow Japanese bands find ways to fuse genres that sometimes shouldn't be fused, can't be, like you've never seen a good example of being fused, and I think they do it very, very well. I might not particularly be 100% into this, but objectively speaking, they fused it in a nice way.
Yeah, I think this works here. I love the visuals as well. I love it. Obviously, the girls are very good looking, but the emphasis here, it's not on them. It's like, hey, all attention is on me. No, it's on the music. Even the way that the video itself is structured, that's like, hey, we're trying to show you here. Obviously, we're not picking up on all the like cultural nuances or like Easter eggs that are surely in this video, but at least even as a foreigner listening, opening your mind to this kind of music, you see the connection between the sound and the visuals. It makes sense.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
And they started actually doing some Maximum the Hormone covers.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. They started with that, and that's still, to this day, my favorite Japanese band I've ever heard.
I like the early 90s outfits as well. It's so dope. She's badass. For some reason, as I'm listening to this song, I wanted to sing along. You can't bring me down.
I was just gonna,
right?
I was gonna give Suicidal Tendencies comparison.
Like right away, I'm like, suicidal, not suicidal. I was going back and forth throughout this whole song.
I think the style, the attitude.
Yeah.
We mentioned Mordred. There's a couple other bands in the '90s that started kind of implementing these kinds of styles. I'll be honest with you, this is not my favorite song from them. But I can understand the stylistic choice of them wanting to kind of explore maybe different kinds of genres of music they're into.
This is not generally the style of metal, like the subgenre that I go to. And I can't say that I'm in love, enamored by the song, but I can appreciate it. There's a lot of music that I listen to that you actually show me that I recognize the talent, the good musicianship, which this is definitely is, just not for me.
Yeah, I think with this particular, there's a couple of songs I want to show you from them. I think I liked from the beginning to the end.
Right.
And this particular song, I think, is suited for, maybe it's not going to get the whole fan base going, like you said, but it has its own style. It was cool.
Yeah, it was a fun song.
That being said, also, guys, I want to hear from you, especially the Nemophila fans, how you guys feel about this particular song, this blend of like 90s hip hop with heavy metal, with kind of rock, and some kind of jazzy influences that there's in here.
Yeah.
What do you feel about it? Do you like the song in comparison to their other stuff? And how do you feel about this whole genre blending that Nemophila does on their own?
And I would love to hear from whoever is going to, leave us some comments in this video. How do you guys feel about the progression of this band? Where they're taking their musicianship here with this particular song?
What I've seen so far, I'm not as versed as some of the fans, is they've just gotten better and better.
Nice.
Even when I didn't like a song, it was just like, oh no, they're naturally just getting better. They're more confident. They're developing their own style, and they're just kind of letting loose. They're not putting themselves in the box.
That's cool.
All right, guys, take care of yourselves and keep it metal.
Keep it metal.